Hey, Diane again. This is kind of between the chapters. We're wrapping up the whole section 1 of the 47 Principles of Financial Fitness, which were the basics, understand the basics. And kind of as we recap that before we move in to the second section, which is how to change your financial habits. So we understand the basics. We're moving forward into changing financial habits. So I just want to talk about some of the principles and kind of summary that are really important. Change is hard. It's the hardest thing you're going to do is change. We like the status quo, even if it's painful. Self-discipline is hard. Nobody wants to be self-disciplined. It is time in our life to grow up and be adults with our money. And that's hard to really embrace, especially when you're older like I am. Like, why haven't I done this decades ago? But you have to get started now. You cannot wait another day. You cannot wait another paycheck. You cannot wait another credit card debt bill. You need to start now. Warren Buffett gave advice to college students. He says you only need to know 2 things. Number 1, stay away from credit cards. Stay away from debt. It's a killer. Boy, don't we all know that. And number 2, invest in yourself. First, invest in learning, invest in development, invest in your education, because that is an investment that will always pay rewards and nobody can ever take it away. You can never lose money on investing in yourself. It never goes away. It never depreciates. So here's about 15 real quick principles that we have learned and discussed, and I want to recap. And the first thing is whenever you receive income, you do 2 things. You give to others, tithe, charity, have an attitude of gratitude. You welcome abundance into your life, and you put 10% in savings of everything you earn for the rest of your life, savings that you can't touch easily. And then on the flip side, you minimize expenses and you maximize education. So you look for every single way that you can cut expenses and you eliminate them. A cup of Starbucks at a time, a movie at a time, a magazine subscription at a time. $5 and $10 add up to thousands of dollars in a month or in a year. And so you need to really go and look at your expense side of the equation. Then you're going to pay off your credit card debts. First, you service your debt, because if you don't pay your debts, they compound and penalize you, and there's a downward spiral to not paying your debts. You pay the minimum on all of your debts. You can consolidate them. There's a lot of financial things you can do, but you pay the minimum you must do on all your debts, and then you identify the debt that has the highest interest rate, and you pay that off first, and then you go down the list. So if you have one of those horrible credit cards with 24% interest, you pay that off first, and that, no interest for 4 years auto loan, just pay the minimum on. That's the last thing you're going to pay, because it's the least expensive for you. It does not cost you money in your sleep. The 24% one does. And then you pay the rest of your bills. There's some techniques for effective change, because we're talking about changing your mindset, changing your head, changing your habits. And so I think the first thing is it's a choice. You have to choose today, right now, to be an adult financially, and to stop making the excuses and stop falling into the same victimization or excuses that you have in the past. We need to step up and take responsibility. And that is to make a choice to do this. One of the ways to do that is to avoid exceptional deals. Boy, this is a deal. It is so cheap, I can't bypass it. It's a spontaneous purchase. Look what I found on sale. Oh my God, only today. It is not a deal if you can't afford it. And today, most of us can't afford it. So employ the 24-hour rule. If it is such a great deal, 24 hours from now, you'll feel the exact same way, and you'll go back and you'll negotiate that deal, or you'll buy that pair of shoes, or you'll invest in whatever it is. But I bet you in 90% of the occasions, 24 hours from now, yeah, you don't need it nearly as much as you did yesterday. The opportunity passion has gone away, and you'll say, yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it's a cute pair of shoes. It's a precious dress. I love those boots. What a great learning opportunity. Oh my God, I want to learn that. I want to go to that movie, whatever it is. 24 hours from now, you can live without it, and you will have changed the way you feel about it. Always have an emergency fund stacked away, at least a month's living expenses, preferably 6 months, because shift happens in life. Things change, and you have to be ready for the unexpected. Pay yourself first, and that is save 10% of everything you earn for the rest of your life and invest in yourself because you're saving for your freedom. When you're economically free, you are physically free, you're job-wise free, you're emotionally free. You can do what you want in life. If you don't have the money, you cannot be free. You're a slave to money. So if you pay yourself first, you put 10% into savings forever, every single thing that you earn for the rest of your life. In a matter of 20 years, you will be financially free and able to do whatever you want with your life. Try and make it invisible and painless. If you have to write a check to yourself for 10%, that hurts. Have it taken out of your paycheck and sent to your investment company. Have auto deduction. You could even do something like have greater declare less deductions than you need, so that you get money back on your tax return. You don't even realize that it's coming out in your payment. Then you take that tax return and you deposit in the bank. Okay, make it as invisible and painless, because it only hurts what you see. If you don't see it, if you don't feel it, it doesn't hurt as much. Cut up your credit cards. I know you can always get new credit cards. You call them up, say, oh, I lost my card, and they'll issue a new one. You'll still get the statements. You'll know what they are. You'll have the numbers. But if they're not in your hand, you can't spend them. So cut them up. Keep 1 or 2 cards for emergency. But all those other cards that you don't need, cut them up. When you need them for a financial emergency or that trip that you need, then you call up the credit card company and say, oh, I lost my card. Can you send me a new card, replacement card? And they'll do that. But that is one of the ways that you can work hard at getting out of credit card debt. Get a partner, a mentor, your spouse, somebody who is more financially mature or more financially responsible, or is willing to cooperate with you and help you to make big decisions. You can say anything over $100, $500, $1,000, whatever it is. I am not contractually to myself or even to you. I make a contract. I cannot spend more than $500 of discretionary income unless I get the blessing of my partner, my spouse, my mentor. And then that really makes a difference, because you have an accountability partner who will put sense into it. I remember years ago, my ex-husband came home and said, I bought a truck today. It was $20,000. Like, should we maybe have discussed this $20,000 investment before you made it? Well, I really like this truck, and I was there, and I drove by the lot, and I decided I needed that truck, so I bought a truck. That's not a real good foundation for a relationship. That kind of strains relationships. So it's really important that you have an accountability partner and you discuss this. Track all your spending with a budget. It is so important. Nobody does it. It is painful. It's a pain in the neck. Track every penny that you spend for the next 3 months, and you will be amazed at how much you spend that you don't need to spend. And then you can correct it. You can cancel all that stuff. You can stop. You can return things. You can cancel subscriptions. You can cancel your newspaper subscription. You can cancel Netflix. You can cancel cable. There's lots of things you can do to save money, but you can only do it if you identify it and track it. If it's not trackable, if you can't track it, you can't manage it. If you have a credit problem, and so many people do, communication is the best answer. It is the only answer. Do not default on a loan without calling up and saying, hey, I've got a problem. You call a credit card, you call the mortgage, you call your car payment, you call your student loan, whoever it is, and you say, I'm in a real financial stress right now. I cannot pay my mortgage payment this month. I can't pay my car payment. What can you do for me? And you would be amazed at how they can help you. They can put you on lower interest rate programs. They can suspend your program. I have a girlfriend who was in trouble, and the company allowed her to take the last day of her mortgage payment and move it to now so she could skip a month of mortgage payment. There are things they can do. I was working with a company, and they had a penalty credit card of 24% interest, was just killing them. And we called them up and we negotiated a payment program with a fixed auto pay, and they lowered the interest rate to 10%. So talk to your creditors. Never, ever, ever be silent. Talk to them because they do not want you to default, and they will help them to solve your payment problems. Long term, you might want to consider, everybody says the American dream is I want to buy my own home. I want to be a homeowner. Well, that is not always the right decision for everybody. You might consider renting because home ownership is great in many ways if you're going to be there for a long time. When you go to sell your house, you're going to pay approximately 10% of the sales price in selling expenses. That's real estate commissions, it's title insurance, it's inspection, it's in all the stuff that you need to do. So you're not going to make that 10% in appreciation quickly. And so you might be better off renting. Also, when you own a home, you are responsible for everything, property taxes, but also depreciation. When the roof goes bad, the furnace breaks, the air conditioner goes down, there's a leak, you're responsible for that. When you're renting, not so much. So there's a lot of advantages. So reconsider your lifestyle and your choice of how and where you live as part of your financial future. Sell stuff. Why do you have all that stuff? I know I have a refrigerator sitting in my garage. It's been there for 2.5 years. It works. I have never taken the time to sell it. I have all the stuff right here, wrote out a piece of paper. I have all the stuff to sell it on Marketplace or whatever. I just haven't taken the time. Diane, take the time and do it. Okay, take the time and sell stuff you don't need. Turn that into cash. Use that cash to pay off debt. You're going to save money and you're going to reduce your interest. Then when you have been successful, give yourself a small reward that feels good for achieving your goals. You do not have to live a life of penury and misery, okay? You're working on a long-term financial plan, and so you need some breaks along the way. You need small rewards that you think of in advance, and you can give yourself as an incentive. You say, when I pay off this credit card, I'm going to go out to dinner at my favorite restaurant. I'm going to take my spouse out to dinner. We're going to go to this special restaurant and enjoy a really wonderful night out. We're going to pay cash for it. We're not going to put it back on the credit card. Okay, we're going to pay cash for it, but we're going to take the steps to reward ourselves for achieving a big goal. Another thing is go pay 10% to charity. We talked about that. Philanthropy, living with a mindset of abundance. Know your purpose in life and know that money is not it. Money is a tool to get there. Don't let the lack of money stop your vision and your mission for your life and your purpose. Don't get so stopped on your finances today that you give up your dream for your future and you don't work towards it. Keep in mind, money is your tool. Sometimes you use that tool well, like a hammer to make a house. Sometimes you hit your thumb while you're trying to hit a nail and you hurt yourself with that tool. It's a tool. Use it wisely to meet your goal. Make sure your spouse or your partner is on board with your financial mission. This is something you need to do together, because if one person is going that way and one person is going the other, it is not good for your finances. It's even worse for your long-term relationship, because you have fundamental basics, and if you aren't living true to those basics, your relationship will be strained and it may even break. The greatest problem that causes divorce in America is money. People get divorced because of money more than any other reason. Don't go there. Have your partner get together. Go through this course together. Buy the green book, the green box program. You can find it at dianehuth.info. dianehuth.info. You can get Orrin Woodward's Financial Matrix book, and you can find out about getting involved in learning about financial fitness at dianehuth.info. And stay positive. You are working for a long-term goal, which is your long-term financial well-being. So stay positive. One brilliant things, I think, famous person said, starve the problems and feed the opportunities. So we're going to starve debt. We're going to starve the creation of debt, and we're going to feed the opportunities of your life and of becoming financially fit. It feels good to be successful. It's going to feel really, really good at the end of the tunnel when you're out of debt, when you're financially secure, and you can enjoy small steps towards meeting that goal right now. So become an adult, take full responsibility for your financial situation and make it better. Take the 47 principles, the 47 steps to financial freedom, and in a year or 2 years, you will be a different person because the burden of financial debt will be off your shoulders, and you will have the ease and the peace of financial tranquility if you work through this step by step, day by day, painful budget, painful credit card at a time. You will get there and it will feel wonderful. And we all want to be in that place of feeling wonderful about our financial situation, because finance is going to let you get to your goal in life. This is Diane Huth, your debt freedom coach. I will talk to you soon in the next video. Bye-bye.